before we get too crazy far into it, I have a backlog. I have a backlog that I need to get through. It's not just a game backlog, but I'm getting behind in a task that I told myself I'd do more diligently, and I haven't been. So I owe myself, I owe everyone, I owe the world a video game review haiku. Deep cleansing breath. Video game review haiku, where we sit and reflect on our time with a video game. Maybe it's something we spent a long time with. Maybe something we played one day. Maybe we finished it. Maybe we barely scratched the surface. But the point is, this is our chance to stop, look back, gather our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions, pack it up into a little snowball, and hurl it off into the great outer reaches of, this is what we thought of the game. Maybe we never play it again. Maybe we go back. But this is closure. Video game closure. I did change the background. We are in more Sakuraville here with Mount Fuji in the background instead of Matsushima Bay. Did I change the background because I lost the background audio loop, and having a different audio loop was starting to drive me nuts? We may never know. The two things might be related, the two things might not. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here today to talk about a little game. It'll take a minute or two. Called MiSide. MiSide, MiSide. MiSide, MiSide.
Shorts. Whoa. Domo arigato.
Which
just a hard
was
cut.
heavily metagame. You play a,
I guess
in
we'll
the
be
game
watching
you play
this
a
app. I guess that's
character
what we're going to be mostly
who's
doing
playing
here.
a game.
Yeah. Okay,
And
well,
as
that
you're
makes
playing
sense.
with your
Put
sort
together.
of virtual
Chop the vegetables.
girlfriend
Chop, chop, chop.
through series of
what?
like mini games. So, I mean, a lot of the interaction were mini games, and the mini games didn't necessarily
Mama. We're playing
repeat. They were kind of like one
three
and
times
done.
arigatoed.
The story would evolve, and you learn a little
Uh-huh.
bit more about, oh well, she wants to meet
I don't see
us.
why that would be a bad idea.
Video
Okay.
game you
Sounds good.
with video game her, the video game to the video game to video game she wants you
did
to
it.
be, and the next thing you know,
We did it, gamers. We're
now
in
we're
her
actually
room.
in her video game,
didn't
in
pay
the
close
video game, in the video game, like a subset. And then we run into Mita, who is the
there a crouch
anime girl protagonist.
You like the
and
very bottom part of the thin
It's
area
very
of the carrot, right?
heavily handed
Oh,
with
hit
the
turn,
fact
hit
that
the
something
thin
is
part. All right.
doesn't register with the music not being heard. Oh, the music's
Just
not
like
heard?
that
Well,
much is how much we cut last time.
I'll have to figure that out.
It made it both of us.
But something is clearly wrong with
yeah, explain that.
her and
Eat us like
in the world you're occupying with her. But again, it seems like most of the game is
Alright.
structured through you're interacting with her in the
Wow,
world
game.
in just a variety of different
Who
mini
wants
games.
more wins?
One was like Cooking Mama. This
Okay,
one here,
yeah.
it's just sort of like, I don't know, like a Flash game, Newgrounds
2,
level of
1.
detail. And you don't
Go, go,
necessarily
go,
play all the
suck
games, but the
penguin.
story starts to
It's like
unravel
drifting.
and progress and develop. And yeah, it becomes distinctly unwholesome and horrific. The video I have, it's just gonna kind of like, touch the surface, but
Just barely.
yeah, you can really start to see the walls, the paint peel back on the walls,
Okay.
and the blood drip through, metaphorically or actually quite realistically. And the game does a pretty interesting job of kind of breaking you out of,
I don't hear anything.
even if you are completely credulous and you've bought into this video game, eventually it's just like, okay, well, yeah, there's sounds coming
Why
from
we
the
slow
closet.
music down?
If you ignored her instructions, don't look in the oven, and don't just like, yeah, I won't look in the oven.
Keep playing cards. I'm fine.
The rest of it kind of unfolds
I
itself,
think I
and
was
you
about
learn
to do
that
good.
Mita,
I don't know.
your anime girlfriend for life, your best friend,
we don't have
is in fact evil and crazy. And then you basically
Also,
have to
he was
deal
good.
with the evilness and the craziness versus love,
makes sense.
I guess. But without giving too much away, there begets other Mitas. You run into sane Mita, crazy Mita having the straight hair, sane Mita having like ponytails, and there are a variety of other Mitas that you go through as you traverse back through versions of the game in the game.
I know, right?
Versions to earlier versions
Talk
of the
about,
game,
like,
and seeing the kind of the game
Plot railroading. I was
migrate.
having fun.
It was fun. It was thoroughly enjoyable.
Okay.
It definitely had some jump scares at certain point in times.
Are we putting words in my
I
mouth?
would say that from a narrative perspective, I don't know what people
I guess I have
are
to press
intending
Q,
to
right?
do.
Video game?
But you can't
right, video
ignore these games that kind of like get like a little bit Doki Doki Literature Club, right? Like cutesy girl, and then we're gonna subvert it.
Go find out.
I think it does. I think it's very effective in what it does. I don't necessarily know that I would want to go through and dig out every achievement and every secret, but I'm happy with the time we spent with the game. But if you stop and reflect on what the game really is from an interactive perspective, it's a series of differing interactions and mini games. It really is a mini game collection. So with that in mind, let's talk about it. MiSide, whatever. MiSide. Metagame horror. Yandere WarioWare? Question mark. Mita loves you best. That's my final decision. It is anime horror Yandere WarioWare. Right? While none of the little mini games stick out to me as particularly fun, it's the connective tissue for the narrative throughout the game. It's all these sort of little different one-off mini games with some, it seems like it's more fleshed out than this, but even the parts where it's you're interacting with the real world, it's kind of its own mini game. It has its own little rules. But yeah, that's what I thought about MiSide. MiSide. That's what I thought about Mita and her game. It was pretty cool. I did thoroughly enjoy it.